Okay, now we're on page 104 of your workbook, section 9.3, measures of central tendency. Now the mean is just basically the average that you've usually found by adding up all your values and dividing by the number of values. You've probably done that before lots of times. So in this example, we're going to look at the model weights again, and we're going to do some things with it and collect some data. Now, throughout the workbook, there's things to find like range, median, mode, like all that kind of stuff. We are not going to do standard deviation or box plots just because it just takes too much time. We're kind of winding down the end of the term and you have your project to do and everything too. So we'll just keep it short with this, but I think it's a very useful skill. I will show you how to do the 5-number summary, though, that you would use for a box plot, just because it happens to be all inside your calculator. So you could do this the traditional way, finding mean, just add up the numbers, punch them into your calculator, and divide by the number of values, which is given as 16. But I'm just going to show you a little bit better way here. I think I do need to turn off the lights a little so you can see my calculator. So we're going to find all these values here. I will even show you standard deviation, what that looks like, although we're not going to use it. Rounding rule of thumb is round one more place than the data is given in. So just so you know that, or follow the specific directions that are given, like in your online homework, you might have a specific way to round that they want you to do. So this will adjust in a sec. So I want you to see what I'm typing in my calculator. You have the values in front of you on a paper anyway, but the way we want to hit the keys, turn it on, and then we're going to hit this data key here. And what happens is you get a list. There's a few different kinds of lists. There's list 1, 2, 3. So you can use them for different things, or you could just have 3 lists in there. So sometimes we use it for a frequency table as well, and I'll show you that too. If you do end up taking a stats course, that's where people have a little bit of a struggle spot. So on this, I hit that data, and then I hit 110, depending what kind of calculator you have, like if you have a graphing calculator of some sort, or if you're using the Pro, it's pretty similar. This might lay out a little bit differently. So you type that in, and then 138 would be the next one. You can go crossways or down, and you're just going to type in all the values. So go ahead and do that on your calculator if you're doing this method. If you don't have this kind of calculator and it's just a regular small calculator, you can, some of them you can get statistics from it, others you can't, so you might have to do it the long way. So now that you have your data all inside this list, then we're going to use this stat function over here. Anything in green, remember you need to hit the green second button first. So second, and then that data key again. And you're going to see on your calculator 1 variable statistics. Hit enter. And then list 1 is what we put in. Frequency is just 1. We put in 1 item at a time. We're not working on a frequency table. And then calc is calculate. So I'm going to put the lights up a little more so you can see what's in the calculator rather than what's on the paper. So here's calc. So then you go ahead and press enter. And now you can see we did 1 variable statistics, list 1, 1 frequency, n is 16. So that way you make sure you have all your data values in. Before, if you were doing it the long way, you really do have to make sure you caught them all. And this is easy. If you forgot one of them, if there was one missing, you could just hit that data again and go back and edit your list. This X bar is your mean. So that is 106 0.9, we're going to, 106.1. It's kind of looking down there. Got to round one place. And then this S sub x here, that's your standard deviation for a sample. We don't need to have that one there, 16.9 that would be. This is a lowercase sigma from the Greek. It's the population standard deviation. These are just some things you might need for other formulas if you were doing some more statistics later. Minimum is 85, so you can write that one down. That'll be useful to us. Q1 is quartile 1, 91.5. That you use for box plots. Median we'll use 110. That's your middle value when they're sorted in order. Quartile 3, that's at the 75th percentile mark when in order. We don't really need that one for this course. Max is 138. And then it just brings you back to the top of the values. So I'm going to adjust the lighting now so we can see our paper. So the range we can find from doing our max minus our min. So the maximum value is 138 minus minimum is 85. And so I'm going to get a range of 53. And mode is the value that you see the most. So you could sort them out in order. It helps you to see the mode more clearly. But on this one, just go ahead and count up each different thing. You actually have two modes. You have 85, appears 4 times, and then 110 also. So it would be bimodal. Sometimes it's multimodal. Sometimes there's no mode if they're all equal the same. So that's it for just punching things into your calculator. This one only asked you for mean, but while we were there, why not jot down everything else? So here's a frequency table of this data, and we can actually take our list that we had. Well, we'll have to adjust it, but I'm going to show you how to enter this in your calculator, how to clear a list and get this stuff in and find the values easily using a frequency table. So if you didn't have single values and all you had was a frequency table, you really need to do it this way. So otherwise you have to use the formula. That's kind of complicated. So we're going to click the data key a couple of times. So if you push that twice, you can clear list 1, list 2. You can do them separately, or you can scroll down and just hit enter for clear all. And then I get a clean slate. So the first value I'm going to put in is 85 and hit enter. Make sure you're always hitting enter and not like plus. And then the 98, then 100, 110, 115, 138. So now I have that left-hand column in there. Now I want to put the frequency, so I have to arrow over and get to the top of the next list. And that's going to be my frequency. So I put 4, 2, 1, 4, 3, 2. And then I go back and I hit second stat. It's still one variable statistics. It's just that we're using 2 lists because we have frequency. So list 1 are the values of the weights. That's our X value, so to speak. And then our frequency, though, isn't that they each occurred one time. It would be the corresponding number on the list, 2. So the second one over. So make sure you actually scroll over and hit enter so that the L2 is highlighted. Then scroll down to calc and hit enter. And you should get the same exact numbers that you did before. So the rest of this from page 105 up through, we'll do page 107. We're just going to do range on this one and talk about that. But do that as classwork because we already did the process. So you can just go through, make sure you have it down. And I will put the answers up there and you can check back real quick. So I'm just going to quickly go through this. So the mean for this frequency table is going to be 106.1, the same exact answer we got above using our calculator and doing it entering in value by value. If you don't have a calculator, the ones that I recommended for the course is what I'm going to do videos with. But if you don't have that particular calculator, you can just follow the directions for what you have. Also, you can do it the way the book lays out in the examples, and there are videos on that as well. Here is the answers for page 105. Again, it would be the same whether you do it by hand the long way. Sometimes when you have a really small data set, the median can be off a little bit, whether you do it in a data set in a calculator versus by hand. So just know that. Just kind of an anomaly thing because there's not that many values. So mean and median, the symbol for median is X tilde, mean is X bar. Here's the answers for page 106. We have X tilde is 110. Again, it should be the same no matter which, or about the same no matter which method you use. Capital M is for mode, blue and green, it's bimodal. It says give context, but there's not really a word problem that goes with it. And again, here the mode is 85 and 110. So most values were 85 and 110. The range for this peanut butter problem was there's a 70-cent disparity in the cost. Standard deviation, if you're welcome to check that out, but we're not going to cover that. We just don't have time. And doesn't need to be part of the course. So measures of variation, just so you can see here when you have these data sets, the average might all come out to be the same. If you're just looking at mean, the modes would be different, I think, and the medians a little bit different. So, but they could all be the same, but you can see here where there's no variation at all. It's a uniform distribution versus none or all if these were like quiz scores up to 10, and then this one has more of a distribution that's in the middle. So that's why standard deviation is a good statistic to look at. All right, so that's it for this chapter. Have a great day, and this is probably one of the last videos I'll make. First off, if you need more things, just let me know. I'll probably be sending, or just posting the supplemental type videos if you need more help with like the calculator work or things like that. You can email me and request that. Have a great day.